and figure out that lexical ambiguity is the most common ambiguity type in home movie because of the wrong word choice and coherent words with one sentences. And the second, we have Ari Abdul Halim. This research is about ambiguity in Rich Brian's song lyrics in the Sailor album. And the kind of research that he used is qualitative research. And the method that he used is descriptive analysis. And this research described the types of lexical ambiguity and meaning of lexical ambiguity in the songs entitled The Sailor Album by Rich Brian. The results shows this album consists of 12 songs that have been analyzed with lexical ambiguity and then found 36 data. Besides, only 10 songs have lexical ambiguity type of polysemy found 27 data, and only 4 songs have lexical ambiguity type of homonymy found 9 data. And the gap of the research from the previous research, we can see from the purpose of the research of the previous research is to analyze the lexical ambiguity. So the previous research only focused on the analysis of lexical ambiguity in the sentence and to find out the types of lexical ambiguity. And in this research, the writer has the purpose to identify the types of ambiguity in soundtrack song lyrics of Mulan movie, and also to describe the interpretations which arise in the ambiguous words or phrases in the soundtrack song lyrics of Mulan movie. And the writer also have some problem identifications, which are the first, the relationship between language and music, and also the causes of ambiguity in a sentence. And the third, the types of ambiguity found in the song lyrics. And the fourth, the interpretation of the ambiguous words or phrases in the song lyrics. And the last, the messages that contain in the song's lyrics. And then the writer come to a limitation and formulation of the problems, which only includes what are the types of ambiguity in soundtrack song lyrics of Mulan movie, and also how are the interpretations of the ambiguous words or phrases in soundtrack song lyrics of Mulan movie. And the objectives of this study is the first, to identify the types of ambiguity in soundtrack song lyrics of Mulan movie, and to describe the interpretations which arise in the ambiguous words or phrases of soundtrack song lyrics of Mulan movie. There's also significance of the study, which is divided into two, theoretical and practical. The significance of this study, theoretically can be used as an additional source for other researchers to conduct a further analysis on the similar topics. And practically, this research is made to obtain more knowledge in the field of English literature and how to analyze the literary works using semantic analysis, and is supposed to be useful for all the readers who are studying English literature and are going to go further and go deeper in analyzing the similar topic. Now we are going to chapter 2, which is the related literature review. The definitions of semantics. Semantics is the study of the meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. In semantic analysis, there is always an attempt to focus on what the words conventionally mean by you. He also stated semantics is also concerned with the truth conditions of propositions expressed in sentences. And according to Patrick Griffith, stated that semantics is the study of context-independent knowledge that users of a language have of words and sentence meaning. And according to Cradler, linguistic semantics is an attempt to explicate the knowledge of any speaker of a language, which allows the speaker to communicate facts, feelings, intentions, and products of the imagination of other speakers, and to understand what they communicate to him or her. And then the writer also come to a conceptual definition, which is semantic is the systematic study of meaning in language, which are derived from the intentions of speakers, their psychological states, and those the social cultural aspect of the context in which their utterances are made. There are also kind of semantic relations. According to Hjorland, relations between concepts or meanings are under the study of semantic relations. Further, Loreto, he divides the semantic relations into 5, such as polysemy, synonymy, antonymy. And he also divides 3 types of oppositeness or antonymy, namely implicitly graded antonyms, complementarity, and converseness, and also hyponymy and idioms. On the other hand, according to Harford and Heasley, semantics relations are divided into 2 parts of sense relations, similarity and dissimilarity, and namely such as synonymy, hyponymy, antonymy, and they also divide antonymy into 3 types, namely binary antonymy, converses, and gradable antonymies, and also ambiguity. And now we are going to talk about the concept of meaning. Meaning is not something magically appears when a sentence is made. It is also not simply and merely the things that it identifies, according to Goddard. And according to Cradler, he stated that the notion that every word has a single meaning and every meaning is expressed by just one word is utterly wrong and an obstacle to recognizing the complexities in meaningful expressions and in the meanings expressed. And according to Yu, meaning can be distinguished into a broad distinctions between conceptual meaning and associative meaning. Further, Leach divided meaning into 7 types. There are conceptual meaning, connotative meaning, social and affective meaning, reflected and collocative meaning, associative meaning, thematic meaning, and intended and interpreted meaning. And a conceptual definition of meaning is something that contains a message which is intended to be expressed. It is conveyed by words, phrases, or sentences. It is not simply a definition of something that identifies. Meaning itself has various types. The definition of ambiguity. According to Harford and Heasley, ambiguity is a word of sentence is ambiguous when it has more than one sense. They also divide the kind of ambiguity into 2, namely structural ambiguity and lexical ambiguity. According to Cradler, ambiguity occurs also because a longer linguistic form has a literal sense and a figurative sense. And further, Ullman in Pateda, in the book of Mansur Pateda, he states that ambiguity is linguistic condition which can arise in a variety of ways. He also divides ambiguity into 3, namely phonological ambiguity, lexical ambiguity, and grammatical ambiguity. The conceptual definition of ambiguity is Ambiguity is a phenomenon of language that usually happens in human communication. A sentence can be called ambiguous if it associates with more than one possible meaning. It can arise either in spoken or written form of language. The next, we are going to talk about the definition of song lyrics. As stated by Jean-Marie Bretagne, the song is a very special literature because of the tempo of the song shows every depth of meaning. The lyrics of the song are sweet so that it can make people feel like they are flying, slipped, light, and naive. According to Darlene, lyrics are written as a form of interaction between the writer and the listeners. Most of the times, they carry a message, whatever that might be, with the purpose of motivating the listeners at least to think about it. Such a purpose and form of interaction are embedded in the cultural context of these people according to their musical preferences, time, etc. And in addition, O stated the use of the language can be in the form of vocal, language styles, and deviations in the meaning of words, and is strengthened by the use of melodies and music notations that are adjusted to the lyrics of the song so that the listener gets carried away with what the author thinks. The conceptual definition of the song lyrics. The lyrics plays an important role in music. Song lyrics have the form of messages in the form of written words and sentences that can be used to create a certain atmosphere and imaginary for the listener so that they can also create various meanings. Next, we are going to chapter 3, the research methodology. The researcher used the qualitative research, which is a non-numerical research with non-numerical data and using content analysis, which the writer will interpret and quote the ambiguous words or phrases in the song's lyrics. The technique of collecting data that the researcher used is divided into two: primary data and secondary data. Primary data, the writer um, used the song lyrics, which is The Reflection and Loyal Brave True by Christina Aguilera. And the secondary data, the writer used books, journals, and articles as the supporting sources of this research. And the techniques of data analyzing. So the first step, the researcher do the preparing and organizing by the writer listen to the song, no, that download the song and then listen to the songs for multiple times, and then taking the notes from the song's lyrics and classifying and categorizing the ambiguity in the song's lyrics. And then the researcher will start to code the data uh, by listing the words or phrases or sentences of with ambiguous meaning in the song's lyrics. And after that, the researcher will interpret the data and draw the conclusion and also compare the results, the final results of each songs. That's all my presentation today. Thank you for your attention.